What's up, rockers? I know it's been a while since I didn't upload, and I apologize for that. I've been on a kick lately with these 1980s era boomboxes. I've been getting them for real cheap on eBay for parts, and most of them, actually all of them so far, have all been something very simple, except for this one. I wish I would have got some footage of it when I had it apart. This model RX-5150, I remember that because of the Van Halen album. I had two of them, and the parts unit that I got it off of is actually right out here. That came from my workplace. I bought these two radios back in like, oh man, when did I get these? 2012? When I started at my job, I kept one at home, and then I kept one at work. Well, this one was in a flip house I was doing for a while, and the drywall dust got to it, and I wasn't able to deoxid it out. So what I did was I took the circuit. Now that one over there fell off a high reach. One of my coworkers had it and dropped it, so I was able to swap the circuit board for the main board from that one, put it in this one, and I kept a cassette deck from this one because this one the cassette deck worked and the other one never worked. So, and this one here has some very complex, still at least complex to me, linkage in there. I gotta do another speed calibration on it because it sped up a little bit after I ran it. So I'll have to run a test tape through it again. Let's see, this is my second one of these doing. I actually bought two of these RX-5025s. I bought one for my buddy Dave, one for my buddy Kenny. I'm gonna be upgrading. I'm getting the cassette decks working in both of them. And I'm doing a Bluetooth upgrade, so I got a voltage regulator I ordered, so I got to tap into the transformer, and no matter what I get out of it, I'm going to get 5 volts DC out. Then at that point, I have to take this, mount this in here. So it looks like it should fit in here pretty good. That's probably not nice. Yeah, does it? Yeah, it does. It's gonna fit right in here, so I'm gonna mount this in here. I gotta trace it out and do a on the outside and Dremel it. And I bought these files here that I'm gonna use to smooth it out so you won't see it. Use an adhesive on the inside like a silicone and have it hold it in place. Come out of here with the auxiliary, then soldered into the ports here for the line in. So when you have the radio set to line in, it's going to be playing your Bluetooth box. And I have it this side here instead of on the inside, so you can push this button in to connect and disconnect. Now, theoretically speaking, I am not the electronics wizard. I have a buddy of mine, Mike, that lives out in Virginia. He's actually the one that's walking me through it. So he said to tap off the highest point of the transformer with that voltage regulator. I'm going to get 12 volts out no matter what. He said it should work with the battery and with the 120 AC in. So I'm gonna take his word for it. I can use a meter and check voltage and stuff like that. But as far as like the theory behind it, that's where they lose me. So as long as I got 5 volts coming out of that regulator, I'm a happy camper. I'll wire this in, make my soldering connections, and bam, you're gonna have a 1980. Actually, if you look on this cassette player here, the back of it, it actually has a date code. It's not really a date code. It flat out tells you what the date was. This was made on 1st of July of 1983. Huh. All right. As you don't want to mess with this tuner stuff at all. The only thing that would be nice to do, this model here and also the RX, I have another one, a small one, that cassette players sound really good. And they're very easy to work on. Like for example, this one here I actually had to take back off because I forgot to put the grease on when I had the belts changed out. Now, don't judge me too much for the country music that I know I'm rock and roll hi-fi guy and all, but the wife has XTU on right now. It doesn't bother me as long as it ain't freaking rap or pop. I'm good. I hate that freaking rap crap. All right, so yeah, I just put this just as a practice. You can see it used to have some black grease on there. It's all lost. It's dried up and lost its consistency by now. So I'll throw a little bit of that on there, and I'll put it back on, and it's gonna get tightened back up, and that's gonna be the end of that. And all that does is hold the cap stand, keep it centered. So I'm gonna put this down for a second. I don't have the tripod out right now, and I probably should. To be honest with you, I didn't even realize I was going to be shooting any footage tonight. So my apologies on that. I'll get this put back on quick, then I'll show you. I'll do another video too when I have the when I'm ready to do a speed calibration. I'm not going to keep you recording the whole entire time. You'll get bored as shit by then. I have a lot of stupid crap to do, up like small stuff to do up until that point. One of my viewers commented recently on one of my videos and said they like watching me because it feels like you're hanging out and not just. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for, honestly, dude. Because I'm pretty chill for the most part. I'm not very serious most of the time, and why bother, you know? I just like to chill out and have a good time. That's pretty much the vibe I'm going for. And whoever, I forget your name was, but yeah, you couldn't have possibly worded that more perfectly, because that's exactly what I'm going for. Alright, so we're tight on that. That ain't going nowhere. You see it spins freely. The belt's tight, but not real tight. The only thing I don't like about that is a sign of cheap build quality is a plastic belt loop for the belt. Alright, so next I got this rubber renew here. I'm gonna put you down for another second. We're gonna open this up, take the cap off. Hey, you gotta watch it. This stuff is nasty. It stinks too. It kind of smells like a really strong root beer smell. Give me 1 second here. Gotta grab some Q-tips. I really should have got the tripod, but again, I didn't really realize I was going to be doing this. Alright, so here's your rubber renew. What this does is pretty obvious. It gives rubber back its original consistency. So you got an idler tire right here if you look. So you don't have to go crazy with it. You're not going nuts here. All you're doing is this, rotate it. You don't want to put it on too heavy, because otherwise you'll just oversaturate it. And it's not going to hurt the plastic or nothing like that. So if you get it on something you're not supposed to get it on, so what? And that's it. And of course, the other part you're going to have to do is the pinch roller. And what we'll do is we'll rotate this around, rotate this tape player around quick. And like so. The pinch roller is actually the most important part. There's 2 rubber spindles in this model. And the same is true for any cassette deck. It really doesn't matter what kind of cassette deck you're working on. Any of the idler tires, go over it with rubber renew. It helps. It does, trust me. It wouldn't hurt to probably clean the pinch roller either. But yeah, you're not going to hurt nothing if you get it on the plastic. It doesn't matter. I'm sure there's someone out there who's going to message me telling me that it does, but I haven't run into a single situation yet where I've damaged anything by getting rubber renew on something that quote unquote I'm not supposed to get rubber renew on. But again, there's a right way and a wrong way of doing everything. So I guess it all depends on your outlook and how you look at it. So yeah, that pinch roller should be good. You see the cap stand's got some crap on it, so we'll have to get that shined up. You see how it's got that tape residue on there. Alright, well, I'm going to let you guys go for a little bit. I got to put this back together, and I also want to lube up the, throw this Q-tip away quick. I got to lube up the, all the control fingers, because they see that bind up and stick over time. So that being said, I'm going to let these go for a few minutes, and I'll be back with you. Alright, I want to have it apart. When you have it nice and open, everything's put back in. This cassette mechanism is held in by 4 screws on the bottom here. That's your speed adjustment, which we'll get to that in a minute. It'll be a good time to put some 91% alcohol on a paper towel. Use a cotton swab when you have it put together and you're trying to reach in tight, but you have it wide open. So rub it like this if you got some crap off of there. Ain't really that bad. You can see it is a little darker there. It's not showing up much on the camera, but Believe me, it had some residue on it. Now you want to rub it and get it good, but you don't want to put too much pressure on it because you'll knock the freaking head out of alignment. Now I know what you're thinking. It's a cassette player, you can't get the head out of alignment. Well, yeah, you can. Hate to break it to you, but it is possible. Look at that, nice and shiny. See if we can do it with this cap stand. Look at that crappy. It's off from the cap stand. You look, the cap stand is shining up pretty good. Best way I can think of to do that though, effectively, is to plug it in quick and run it and put the paper towel on it that way. I just don't know if the cord's gonna reach, so we're probably gonna have to, I'm an idiot, I probably should have left it there. And we'll do the servicing up here. So I really apologize for how shaky this video is gonna be. You guys know I usually use my tripod. I'm actually feeling like I'm filming one of my old style videos again before I had all the fancy crap. You can see, fast forward. Come on. There you go. Works. Rewind works. Counter works. The play seems to work. We're almost definitely going to have to do a speed adjustment on there because it played too fast when I was doing a test on it beforehand. If you look, the belt kits, I ordered the belt kits on eBay. Just type in a model number of the Boombox and the belt kit will come show right up for it. The only one that was a little bit off on was the one for the General Electric one that I bought, and I'll show you. There's a reason I got back into these boom boxes again. I've been looking for a good tape recorder to film you guys all know I'm an FM radio nut. I bought these boom boxes to record FM air checks with. Believe it or not, the RX-5125 over there is my big winner so far. I have another one too that I really want to try out and check and see. This one here, I actually got lucky. Back to the 5150 again, because we screwed the tuner string up and it popped off one of the freaking pulleys. So we actually had to look at the other one I had and set it up exactly the same and rewind it, and believe it or not, we got it right the first time. It makes very good recordings off of FM radio, believe it or not. These 5025s, for some reason, the output, if you tune either the one station, local station 99.1, the classical station, it broadcasted a pretty low volume for FM, so the recordings come out fine. But most stations broadcast hot, so when you do recordings, the recordings come out with distortion, and it drives me nuts. I'm gonna go over what we have quick over here. My work clothes are in the way. I'm in the office right now. This here is the first one I bought. This is by far the easiest cassette mechanism I ever had to get working. I have another one that's model number RX-5010 that I got. And I'm getting these 10, 15 bucks a pop off of eBay. No shit. And all I need to do is order a belt for it. The radios all work on. The tuners are excellent for portable devices. I put the tuners in these as far as like how good they pull in stations up against almost anything made today, honestly. It's a model 4940. This is the GE that needed the deoxit. That's all it needed. Even the 8-track player is already at proper speed. And here's the other model 5025. So I'm just going to go through everything, deoxit it, and that's going to be that. Like I said, the 5025, the 5940, and also the 5010 that my father-in-law has. They work great, but they record a little hot on the FM. For this, show you how to do a quick deoxit. Like I said, we're not going to go crazy. You're not trying to drown the thing out. All you're doing is getting a little bit of deoxit in the switches here to clean them out. You're not drowning it. You're not using it. Like I said, with this deoxit here, a little bit goes a long way. So what you want to do is you don't want to take the knobs off and spray deox down the shaft. That doesn't work. I mean, you might be able to get something in there, but it's not going to work the way you think it's going to work. You actually have to get the tip of the deoxit spray in the into the knob, which is that little notch right at the top of the potentiometer. So we're going to aim that. I don't know if you can see it in the camera too good, but you're going to aim that right there and give it a little, put up as close as you can to it and give it a quick blast. The next one's right here, same thing. Anyway, this one here I can't see the opening in that one. Yeah, those two, it's right on top there, as you can see. The third one over here, though, I'm not exactly 100% sure. Nope, I see it. This one we'll have to get. Actually, it might be better to do it this way anyway. This one here is the right, you can see it. Right there is the opening. So then you just that one spins nice and easy. Working back and forth a few times, get the contacts nice and clean. That one's there's kind of, oh, yeah, we're easing up now. Cool. And as for these slider switches, same thing, but you want to get to them from the back side. I'm not going to show you every single. We'll show you every single one, because you'll get bored. But spray it back there the best you can. Sometimes you're pretty stuck as to what you can do, unfortunately, and just work each one. So that's it for now until we get to the speed adjustment. It's one thing I forgot to mention. It's really important. I probably should have done it when I had a cassette player out, but that's okay. You can still get to it. Very important is the play and record bar. It's that long piece down there. It's usually pushed with a mechanical linkage. It's right down here. I'll push the record button in so you can see it move. That right there. Very important. Kill the power again. Let's unplug it over here. I almost forgot. I'm not going to show it because I need both hands. But it's basically do it the same way you did the other one. Definitely. That big silver piece right down there with the black part that moved in and out. See it moving? Very important. All right. So we're pretty much ready for a speed calibration here. Let's see. What do I got readily available? Preferably one that has the felt piece. And I bought these tapes the other day. I didn't play test them yet. I think Van Halen's 1984 is over here somewhere. Is it? Yep. Found it. Just so you can hear it and get an idea. Oh, I'll plug that on 1 second. All right, we're back. All right, so let's try it. Oop, wrong button. Play. Actually, with the proper belt tension, it sounds good. There's your tone. Of course, you have these upside down. But that's just the way to test for now.
Show. You've been broken up with, maybe somebody's told you, don't worry about it, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Well, based on some of these bottom feeders that Seabass keeps running into, just maybe there's too many fish. Yes. Here are some of the latest people that he's run into. Also, some trending news headlines.
Yeah, 105.5 it looks like.
That and more. Wednesday on The Woody Show. The Woody Show.
Radio on Alt 104.5. Alright, so that's not the point of what we're trying to do here. That sounds pretty close. I bet you we're within an acceptable percentage. We're gonna need the good old testing tape. And to do that, we're gonna have to put you down here again. I'm sorry. I know I need a tripod. My bad. Yeah. Alright, so we set that up. Red in the positive, black in the negative. And I have this little fancy freaking cord contraption I have set up just for the occasion. So hopefully the headphone jack on it is adequate. Goes into the phones right there. Give it some volume, otherwise it ain't gonna work. Put your meter on. Set it for hertz, for frequency. And play. Yeah, we are close. Alright, now where's that plastic screwdriver at? That's right, plastic screwdriver's right here. You can see both what I'm doing and the frequency. I mean, you probably wouldn't have noticed that, but the problem is you play it back on a different cassette deck that's a little fast, you would notice it. And I would notice it. If you have a good ear for music, you will notice it's a little bit off. Most of the time. Yeah, I sped it up a little too much. There you go. That's pretty much as good as you're going to get it. It is going to have a little bit of wow and flutter, especially with an old deck and the belt still breaking in. You're not going to hear that's that's an inaudible range. You're not going to notice that at all. If you play an hour-long track, it's still going to be you're still not going to hear a difference. You might hear like a half a second distance difference by the end of it, but I'm really not too worried about it. Like I said, you have to do it again once you get some hours in on it and play with it a little bit. But let's test it out with our Van Halen out and see what we got. I bet you we're, that's an original Warner Brothers press too. Sounds pretty good, honestly. Yeah, those speed tapes are a freaking lifesaver. Ah, whoops. God, that's annoying. Perfect. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time. And I was going to put all this back together. And I'll make a separate video to show you guys the Bluetooth when I have it made. I'm not doing that for my own because I hate Bluetooth. I just can't get into it. The only time I use that is at work and on the side-by-side because you have all the background noise anyway. What else do I want to show? Oh, one more thing I want to show you before I call it quits for the day. And it's the last boombox I really have that I can show. And this is the only one they really messed the belts up on. This here is a Generally Electric. There's your door for it. I got all the parts in the jar because it needs to go back together. It's like a model 35820 or something like that. Where is it at? They're not as easy to remember as the Panasonics. Model number 3-5286A. Now, there's two versions of this boombox. This is the early version, then the later one that looks the same, but it's just that it goes off the date code. I think anything past 4015, I think it was, for the date code, has better woofers with a bigger magnet on the back. But I don't know if I told you guys yet, but the reason I'm buying these boom boxes is to get FM air checks on cassette when I'm traveling. Most of them recorded too hot. This one here I bought because it has automatic record levels. The Panasonic 5150 I have upstairs does not have record level adjustments, but the automatic level control on it seems to work pretty good because I recorded one of the loudest stations we have, which is Magic 105.5 out of Tamaqua and 93.3 MMR out of Philadelphia, are the two that seem to broadcast the loudest, and both the recordings I made on them came out fine. This one here needs a little bit of work on the tuner. It doesn't seem to lock stations in very good. But, and I didn't get a chance to try the cassette player out. I got all the belts changed out on it so far, except for this one. This is a belt that came in the pack, and if you look, that's the belt pack. These belts I changed out. The small ones were all a little small too, but I was able to make them work. This is a belt that I need. Now, if you look, it's deteriorating pretty good. It's not completely snapped, but the cassette player had no tension at all. The drive pulley was just sitting there spinning. The belt wasn't moving anything. It's too slippery. And all the parts are well lubricated already. All I got to do is put the belt in there, try the deaccent the controls to see if I can find what's wrong with the tuner on it. But that's on my things to do in the near future when I have time. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me and watch this video. Rock on, and I'll catch you next time. Till then, peace out. Take care of yourselves.